I am Fergie Philippe, and I am playing Kristoff in TUTS production of Frozen.
Awesome. Well, Fergie, thank you so much for talking with us today. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
This is such a fun and iconic show. It's gotta be a great time for you and the rest of cast to be bringing this to Houston audiences right before Christmas. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the thing that's really exciting is that, you know, we're one of the first theaters to kind of get a chance to do Frozen outside of the national tour and outside of Broadway. And I think the thing that we've all been talking about that's really exciting is that, like, we're really getting to do our own version of this show and getting to do one that's specifically for Houston, one that's specifically for the people that come out to see Theater Under the Stars show. And so um not only is it like really exciting to get to do things like Fixer Upper and In Summer and Do You Want to Build a Snowman, like these really classic songs um that now over 10 years we've been all singing, to get them up on stage in a way that feels unique to Houston is, I think, the most exciting part.
Now, I do want to ask, do you have any pre-show rituals that get you kind of hyped up and in the mood to play Kristoff in the show?
Oh man, I haven't made any specifically for Kristoff, but I listen to music. That's like my big thing about before going into a show, is that I'm always having music in the background while I'm warming up and while I'm getting into costume and stuff. But I don't know what my warm up music for Kristoff is going to be. That's going to be really exciting. Maybe you can give me some ideas. But I think I'm going to try to find some kind of music that really is going to help me kind of get into his character. Like when I did Hamilton for some time, and when I was doing Hamilton, like my big thing was I listened to classical music before the show would begin, just because I was like, this is the kind of music that these men were listening to during this era, and I wanted to kind of get that mindset going in my head before I went on stage, and allowed the very contemporary music that we were singing to kind of come into play. So show that I do, I kind of have like a specific playlist that I'm listening to before I go on. So I'm very curious about what I find for this one.
Awesome. Man, I wish I had some good recommendations for you, but been so deep in Chappell Roan lately. All I can come up with is Pink Pony
Look,
Club, and
hey,
that is
listen,
probably not.
Christoph could love Chapel Roan. We don't know that. He could be a big Chapel Roan fan. I love Chapel Roan.
Um, one of the fun things I love about your characters, of course, is interactions with Anna. Do you have a favorite moment on stage with Anna that you get to perform?
The thing that me and Kaylin Fu, who's wonderfully playing on our production, is that, like, the thing that we've been having a lot of fun finding is, like, they have like a really classic musical comedy sense of their relationship, where like they hate each other and then by the end of it they fall in love. And I think that we both haven't had like really a lot of chances to play those kinds of characters, and so we've been having a lot of fun figuring out how much we can butt heads, because like me and Kaylin already love each other as people, and so part of it is easy, but trying to figure out like what are the ways that we can really get under each other's skin. I don't really want to give anything away, but there is one moment in the show where where during our duet, we're kind of passing off like bags and gear and all kinds of stuff, and Kaylin goes, why don't you like chuck it at me, so that when it's like a, oh, like, almost kind of like you're pushing me. And so now we both do it, where we have these like bags and we just like kind of throw them at each other to get kind of aggressive with each other, and it's really funny for us because we're working harder to figure out how they dislike each other than how they like each other.
Okay, okay. You could just start behind the scenes by just doing slightly annoying things, like just go to her station and move everything 3 inches to the left.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start like just bothering her in real life, and then it'll just transfer on stage
It's
easier.
gonna be beautiful. I'm glad that we worked through that. That's
Yeah,
great.
thank you so much.
Of course, like you said, this is one of the first productions that's getting to do this show outside of the national tour. Is there anything exceptional that we can expect from like the sets and the costumes, and of course, bringing reindeer and snowmen to life on stage?
The two things that I think are really going to be incredible about our production specifically, like number one, the costumes. Colleen Grady, like a godsend of a costume designer. There are almost 300 costumes in this show, and she has designed them so gorgeously, and they are inspired by what was done on Broadway and what was in the movie, but they are not directly the same costumes. Like, they have really gone into this route of kind of exploring the Swedish roots of this show, which is the direction we've decided to take our show in, mostly because our director has Swedish blood. And the inspiration that she has gathered from like traditional Swedish garb and Swedish fabrics, and just making sure that that element gets like well represented in our show is incredible. And they look absolutely gorgeous, and the level of detailing is wonderful. And then I mean, if anyone knows me, they have to know how excited I am about the puppets in our show. Oh my God, our Olaf and our Sven are absolutely incredible. Afi, our puppet designer and puppet director, our puppet guru, as I call her, she has really done such magnificent work to really bring these characters to life. And again, Olaf in particular, like when you see Olaf, you're gonna be like, that's Olaf from the movie. But there's also these little touches that she put onto it where she's like, well, I wanted to try to change this, and I changed this a little bit, and I added this just to give it kind of like a unique flair for us. And I think that's kind of the gift of this production specifically, is that everybody in TUTS is like, we're gonna honor the movie and we're going to honor the musical and the show that has come before, but we are going to put our own little things into it so that people know that this came specifically from TUTS.
That is exciting. I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of this.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to perform a song in the show that you currently are not performing, can be any gender, any whatever, what song would that be?
Dangerous to Dream by Elsa. That's not even something I have to think about.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when I first saw the show back in like, I want to say 2019, I don't know what it was, maybe it was the wine. When she sang Dangerous to Dream, I was a wreck. I just thought this song, you know, new songs to a musical or a movie or something that's already existing is such a tricky balance. And I think that, you know, Kristen Anderson and Bobby Lopez really had like their work cut out for them coming back to this material, and they added so many new songs to the show, and I love every new song that they added. They did such marvelous work with that. But Dangerous to Dream, for some reason, it gave us like a key into Elsa that we've not seen before, that I was absolutely in love with. So I'd sing that at karaoke tonight if I could.
I love that. I'm gonna make some calls. We're gonna get that set up.
Let's make it happen. Let's go.
Awesome. Now one of the things I genuinely love about like these Disney type productions that are coming through town is this is going to be so many young children's first introduction to live theater, and I think that is the coolest thing. What was your first introduction to musical theater that really got you kind of obsessed with this kind of show?
Oh man, I don't even know. I can't honestly remember the first live show I ever saw. I grew up in Miami, Florida, and so, you know, performance and culture and music, that's like such a big part of that city. And so I was watching live performances from the time I was a young kid. But, you know, funny enough, like it wasn't until I was in college that I really saw like Broadway caliber national tour productions. And the first national tour I ever saw was Beauty and the Beast. And, you know, in college, I was like weeping at Be Our Guest. I just like could not believe what I was watching. I thought it was absolutely stunning, what was happening on stage, and it was so incredible. And even like, you know, when I was a kid, like one of the first things I ever saw that like made me want to do theater was Grease, the movie with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, and The Wiz with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. Like those two movies specifically were so important for me growing up in terms of like wanting to do any kind of performance. And so there are these like certain like, and you know, in the wake of today being the opening day of Wicked, I'm seeing it tonight. You know, it's there's these certain musicals that have this certain like panache to them that like are automatically like oh yeah, that's a classic musical to start with. Like whenever I tell people Grease is what got me into theater, people are like, okay, yeah, of course. The Wiz, yeah, okay, of course. You know what I mean? Like there's certain musicals that just have that kind of panache, and I think Disney really falls into that category. Like, you know, I think for a lot of kids, Frozen is going to be the first show they've ever seen, which is such an insane thought to think, but it's really true. Like so many children are going to be exposed to musical theater and maybe want to do this for a living because they've seen the TUTS production of it. And so that's never lost on me. I'm constantly thinking about that kind of thing.
I love that. And I really hope you just have the best experience ever at the stage door when all these little kids come up to see you guys after the show.
We can't wait. We're so excited to meet all the kids, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody get dressed up. That's the thing that we're going to be looking for on stage, seeing how many people dressed up as Elsa and Olaf and Anna and all these characters. We're so excited.
I love that. Well, I always end on this question. Why do you think Houston audiences need to come on down to TUTS and see Disney's Frozen?
It may not come as a shock to some of y'all. It doesn't really get cold down here. It's we got some nice weather down in Houston. Unlike in New York where it's currently 40 something degrees. So if you're a little sick of the heat, which I don't know why you would be, that I'd be quite mad if you told me you were sick of the heat. But if you're sick of the heat, come on down to Frozen and get cold. You know what I'm saying? Like come see Frozen, get your little chill on, get your winter on, and come see truly this like magnificent production of this like now classic. Like that's another thing I can't get over is that like now Frozen is considered a classic. And it is. It's such a beautiful story about these two sisters who really overcome so much so that they can get back to each other. And I think it's a universal story that everybody will relate to. And I think that it's kind of the perfect thing to get at the holidays, like right around Christmas time. So I really hope people come down and see it. It's going to be wonderful.
I also hope everybody comes and checks out this show. Fergie, thank you so much for your time. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. You need to come on down, check out Disney's Frozen. It's going to be playing at Theater Under the Stars, December the 10th through the 29th. You can get your tickets at tuts.com. You will not want to miss it. Bring the family, bring the kids, bring your reindeer and your snowmen if you have them. Let's get it. Thank you guys all so much. This has been Ray, Houston Film Fanatics. We'll catch you guys next time.